One of the big questions when you consider Windows 8, and probably the most basic question, is this: what's new? What am I going to see that's going to be different from Windows 7? Well, there's a number of obvious changes in Windows 8, and then there's some not so obvious changes. Well, let's talk about some of the obvious changes right now. Metro apps, and of course we're talking about these things right here. It's an app that when you open it up, it goes full screen, and it does all kind of cool things for you, but it always operates full screen. And as you can see here, they're very graphical. There's all kind of cool stuff going on the way you work with them. And so that's one thing that's going to happen. And so Metro apps, the whole tiles thing on the desktop, on the start menu, and that start screen that you see, and I'm going to switch back there. I won't make you sick, I promise. But this is the start screen, and you will also hear it referred to as the home screen in a lot of the Microsoft documentation. So just know that that's what they're talking about. The start bar has disappeared. Or the start button especially has disappeared from the interface, and we're going to talk about that. It really hasn't disappeared. It's just not as obvious as it used to be. There's a new lock screen that's full screen. We'll take a look at that a little bit later on. The Windows Store, you'll notice that when you first go in, there is a tile out here called Store, and this is actually the Windows Store. It's very similar to the App Store on the Mac platform, and you'll notice you can see all kinds of things out here, and you're going to see more and more things show up out here as time goes on. And so the Windows Store is a big new addition. Then you can automatically sync your data to the cloud, and then that data will show up on other Windows 8 machines that you have. It's going to be a really neat feature. And then there's an Office style ribbon in Windows Explorer. And if I go to the desktop, and to do that, I will have to jump out here like this. And when I get to the desktop, if I open a window, you'll notice it looks just like the old Windows Explorer, but I have a little chevron symbol here, and if I expand that, I see the Office ribbon inside here. And you can see that I can do all kinds of cool things with these toolbars up here, just like I can in Windows. And that's kind of cool. And so then the last thing we'll talk about here is performance, and we'll dig into that a little bit later. You're going to like the way Windows 8 performs in comparison to prior operating systems. Now, there's a number of not so obvious changes. There's a new task manager. It's the same old task manager on one part, but then there's a whole lot of new features. We'll take a look at that later in a separate video. Don't know if you noticed or not, but there's square, not rounded corners on the windows. Not a big deal, but it's kind of neat to see. You can also do pinch to zoom on any of the apps in the Metro Internet Explorer, but also almost all the apps in Metro you can do the pinch zoom, because you'll probably be using these apps on smaller format devices a little bit later on. Corner menus, we'll talk about those as we go. They're not obvious, but they're really neat. The tools menu, this is a really neat thing. We'll see it, and you just right click on the lower left corner to see tools show up. And then enhanced multi-monitor features. This one's really nice. If you ever worked on the Apple platform and you can set different desktops on different monitors, you can show the taskbar on both monitors and all that. It's just really, really neat stuff. And then there's quite a few technical architectural enhancements, especially in some of the business and enterprise versions. So lots going on in Windows 8, and we're going to dig into all of these and some more as we go through the course here.